In this video, we'll talk about the GameLab version of the R36S, and if it's any different or any better than the R36S, you can get directly from the AliExpress. But before we start, I would like to thank you everyone who watched my previous video on this little guy, left a comment and reached out to me privately with questions and thanks and everything. It's amazing. I love this community and I'm gonna make way more videos like that because clearly there is a need for more of an non-marketing approach to these. I'm gonna start this video by saying that I paid for both of these, which you can see on the screen, bar my address. So this is not biased. I don't really care if you're gonna buy from my affiliate links, but they're below, obviously, because that pays my bills and ultimately pays for making these videos. And typically I would start with a massive hook, like saying, I will reveal at the very end which of these consoles is better, but this is not better than this, nor this is better than this. We'll dive into details in a second. From the get-go, when you start unboxing this, you know this is not a GameLab console whatsoever. Let's start with the obvious, the social media ads that are being bombarded at pretty much everyone who ever expressed interest in retro gaming, whether you talk to someone and it got picked up by Meta, or you actually actively looked for different options. My problem is not advertising itself. I've done advertising for years. That's how I ended up in the creative industry in general. But the way it's being served to us in many different ways, and I'll pack this as we go. So first of all, we're getting bombarded by ads through GameLab and also a couple of other companies that are just using the generic R36S, as you can see on the back of this one, as a console. And as I mentioned in the original video, which we can look up at somewhere linked below, and I'll drop a tab up there as well. It's a great console in its own right. For retro gaming, anything PlayStation below PlayStation 1, you're golden. It just works, okay? But then shit like this pops up. And I had a bit of a rant in my original video on how the N64 titles work, especially GoldenEye, that I have some really fond memories. And on both these consoles, it just sucks balls. And the fact that these assholes, I'm sorry, but assholes advertising this as something that is capable of playing GoldenEye, honestly guys, you can suck a big one. It's so dishonest and so frustrating when you're misadvertising your product. And I shouldn't be surprised at this stage, should I? There's so much bollocks out there. But it's also not just the GameLab people who are mis-selling this. It's the influencers, it's all this bloody TikTok community, YouTube shorts, you name it. It's kind of like, oh my god, I can play my PlayStation 1 and Nintendo 64 games on this. No probs all day, man. It's like bullshit. Probably you just got it off AliExpress, or you just got shell-tubed by whatever company makes one of these knockoffs, and then you posted that straight away without actually playing shit, because you can tell. The other problem I have, let's just say that this is just repackaged version. That's fair enough. There's a lot of brands doing that. There's a lot of companies doing this across different product categories. But I would expect that if we're paying extra, they would solve a couple of issues, like maybe a fresher version of the OS. No, it's exactly the same as the AliExpress version. Things like maybe improving the D-pad, because let's be honest, that was one of the main complaints coming from people who were commenting on my previous video. And yes, there are some mods and we'll talk about them later. The problem is that the D-pad and all the buttons and all the analog sticks and everything at the back is exactly the same. Actually, this one is a little bit more rattly than the much cheaper AliExpress version of it, which is yeah. Now, in terms of the screen, the GPU and the CPU on these things, they're identical. There's zero difference. It is literally the R36S retro gaming console. The battery is exactly the same. Everything, as you can see here on the zoom in, is exactly the same, apart from the price. So you can get the AliExpress version for, I think, $22 on sale when it goes on sale, and goes on sale quite often. Whereas GameLab is being advertised as, oh, we've got this amazing sale right now because of Christmas, Easter, my grandma's birthday, my grandma's funeral. Oh, if you buy two, we'll even give you a wee discount on top of that. Well, you're not giving a discount because this is actually just the same console you can get on Ali for half the price of your half-price sale. You're pretending this should be £99 in the UK. I'm guessing they will advertise this at $99 in the US. And looking at the hundreds of comments that you get under your marketing videos, there's a lot of people who kind of get caught into this. And I'm sorry for calling it a scam, but this is not GameLab console. This is just rebrand. Okay, I'm sorry for repeating myself, but it really pisses me off when you've got companies absolutely preying on people who have no better clue, who are not going through Reddit, who are not scanning YouTube for reviews, and just are paying double the price for something they can get faster. We'll get to that in a second. Faster and cheaper somewhere else.
Don't get scammed. The only place you should be buying this handheld is GameLab. Ships fast from the US or the UK and includes 24/7 support.
Faster because the AliExpress took significantly less time reaching me. Now, what GameLab does is they advertise themselves as almost like a UK or US company, because if you go to their website, it's .uk or .com, and it looks like you're gonna get this shipped from within the country you're purchasing.
Ships fast from the US or the UK.
And no, it's coming from China, and it comes, I think it took 4 weeks. I'll leave my, hit the mic, sorry. I'll leave my tracking thing somewhere here on the screen so you can have a look. But it took way longer than I expected. I was hoping to make this video earlier, and obviously it didn't happen because it's not a UK-based business. Again, it's a bit of a veil of bullshit. I wouldn't mind if they would be just honest about this. It's fine. You need to repackage somebody else's device. That's cool. You know, just slap your logo on it. You can up the price a little bit, but stop lying that this thing is something else than it actually is. When it comes to a little bit more demanding gaming, I've got loads of different retro devices coming in within the next couple of weeks. I'm testing right now because I don't really want to shell out a video after a day of using something. Apart from this thing, because this is exactly the same as this thing. They're no different. So I had this for a couple of days. I played a number of games, compared them side by side. They're exactly, the performance is exactly the same. What I hoped for actually was that they would include a better SD card in this, because this is dog shit when it comes in with this basic SD. What I have to say is that it comes with just as dog shit card as the AliExpress version. So they didn't even improve on that. So I don't know what exactly we're paying extra for. Now, I've touched upon modifying these devices to make them faster and more responsive, which involves getting a newer SD card, which is another $20 at least, and then changing the D-pad, which is another 15 to 20 bucks. And then you're slowly getting to a territory where you can get a much better retro gaming console, which again, I'll talk in the future, so please subscribe if you haven't already. But we'll discuss other options. So as someone mentioned under my previous videos, that this is made for people who like to tinker with devices and they want to upgrade things. And yes, yeah, it is. But also, quite honestly, the AliExpress version that, again, you can get for about 20 bucks, between 20 and 28, it really depends, that price fluctuates all the time. It's just good enough out of the box for retro gaming. Now, I'll make a separate video on modifications because I think that's an interesting topic in itself, including swapping the OS or upgrading the firmware and getting more games on this and getting this to work a little bit smoother. But that will be in a separate video. I don't think this fits this whole setup here just now. What I'm trying to say through this video is that if you're considering the GameLab console, get the R36S, man. Like, you're gonna get exactly the same thing, for half the price, which is like quarter of the price of the, I think, fake RP. I don't think I ever seen this not on sale. Now, before you ask what games come with these, either with the AliExpress version or the GameLab, it really depends what kind of card you're gonna get with this, and the type of games or the titles will depend on that. But obviously, as you will look through the comments on my previous video, or probably underneath one this as well, you'll find that there's ways of putting more games onto it very easily. So I wouldn't stress too much about it. Another question I've been asked a lot is whether you can save games progress, and it is a bit of a hit and miss. I found that most of the Pokemon games, you can save no worries. I found the same with Zelda. I found the same with quite a few other titles, with Final Fantasy Tactics, for example. Yeah, it keeps your saves. There's no issues with that. I think the only problems I kind of ran into were PlayStation stuff and some of the other emulators, but there are solutions to this as well. And again, for many reasons, I can't discuss particulars here, but if you go to Reddit, there's plenty of topics on how to modify these things. And if you run into any trouble, these consoles have been on the market for quite some time now, and there's a solution to pretty much every single problem you might have. If you have any questions about the R36S, the setup I'm running, or anything else, drop a comment below. And if you've got a console you want me to review and get non-bullshit opinion on it, just drop a comment below. Again, I'm gonna pin one up, so just comment on that. Let me know what you want to see on the channel, and I'll make it happen. So, till the next one, and don't get scammed. Have a good one.